Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Build a Mountain Settlement Part 6, the House Tutorial Part 2. So, where we left off, we were finishing up the top story, and we need to furnish both the top and the bottom stories. So here I was deciding how I wanted to do the rooms, and I couldn't decide if I wanted 2 in the upstairs or 3. Now, the only problem with doing 3 was that I would come across those 2 windows right there in the middle. So I decided to go with 2 in the end on the upstairs. So I'm just messing around with things right now. And yeah, so we'll eventually get there. So here I'm blocking off the wall for the 2 separate, no saying, for the 2 different rooms. Excuse me. So these are 2 bedrooms upstairs here. And there's lots of going back and forth because I couldn't decide where I was putting things, and I wanted to do it symmetrically. So I do one thing on one side, go to the other, do the same thing on the other side, just so that I didn't mess anything up, and so they weren't different. First I was thinking, well, they could have a stove in the upstairs, but then I decided that I wanted a downstairs kitchen, so I get rid of that, I think. Pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. Anywho, let's get to the windows. Just fill those in with glass panes, which makes it look very nice and somewhat more finished. And that's one thing I always did when I had just started playing Minecraft, is that I always used glass blocks. The only problem with that is they don't look very good, and and they're in the way a lot. So once you figure out that you can make glass panes when you're playing survival, you realize, hey, those look a lot nicer, so you start making those. Because for most situations, they do look a lot nicer. For small windows like this especially. On structures that are made out of glass, it's obviously a better idea to use the glass panes, or the glass blocks, I'm sorry. But, shouldn't be saying that word, it's the evil word. Sorry guys, I'm trying to break that habit. I'm working on it, I promise. But back to what I was saying. Ooh, I just turned on my sound. And it was one of those jingles where it's like, and the really creepy voice. Or, not voice, but you know what I mean. So this upstairs railing is pretty tight. And I wanted to put a torch on the outside there, but there was no room, and it just kind of closed off the walkway here, so I left it out. There's no door separating these 2 rooms this time. I just thought that I just didn't like it, so I left it out. There are lots of stylistic options like that that you can choose from when you're building, but I specifically just chose not to in that instance. And I swear this thing looks like a cat face, and I know I mentioned that in the last video, but it's been a long time since I made that one. So I just restated myself. So just roll with it. Just deciding which side I wanted the entrance on, and I decided that I wanted both sides to have a doorway. I also wanted a wooden walk around, just for the... I just thought it would look nice, and I'm not sure if I like it on this building, because it's not raised off the ground like you'd expect something like this to be. So it kind of looks strange just being set into the ground like that. But I don't think it's terrible, so I'd kind of left it. I actually added in a very interesting theme with this, because in the back there were lots of fence posts as supports. So I decided here that I would do the same thing and add fence posts around the edge, which is not something that I've been doing in the Let's Build. So I should probably shouldn't have done it, but it looks pretty good. And it kind of adds a little bit of uniqueness, I guess is the word, to the this building. And it's not bad, so again, I just went with it. I'm just finishing things up and deciding whether or not that's the way I want to do it. And here I grab the fences so we can do the fence posts. I'm not sure if I've got any interesting stories to tell you guys today, so I'm rather dry on apologies for that. I'm back. Apologies for that as well. And here you can see that I'm doing those very unique fence posts on all of the major wooden upright posts for the post and lintel construction, I guess it would be called. This kind of gives the effect of a overhang without actually having an overhang, and I wanted it to actually have torches on top to kind of hang lanterns all the way around, but I never really could, just because it just doesn't look good, so I got rid of it. I was deciding whether or not I wanted to bring it all the way around, but I decided it was too thick and bleh. It just wasn't a good idea all around. And these had to go, obviously, so we just changed them to wooden blocks. Again, I mentioned that I was trying to do torches, but it did not come out good, so no. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. Just because this style of torch with the whole kind of metal handle and cage at the top didn't look good on the wood like some texture packs do. Maybe the default, for example, where you could do like a tiki torch on the ground with a wooden fence post and then a torch on top of it, and it kind of blends together. It doesn't work on this texture pack, so I decided not to. I decided this way looked nicer with the stairs, as it kind of gave a rounded impression. And then I wanted a big, nice, long window coming across the middle there to kind of give some variety from the upright windows, the vertical windows, that you see so much with this style and in this build. And it was a very nice kind of lookout from the kitchen area out to whoever may be coming up the front path. And it looks even nicer from the inside, as you will see about to in the floor. Some more of those spruce wood blocks that are like nice dark hardwood. last one as I make it daytime again, because the day-night cycle can really be a pain. Again, I mentioned that I would be using single-player commands for this, but since 1.2.5, a lot of the mods that I usually use, I haven't really been able to find a version that works very well and has all the same features. For example, single-player commands. For 1.2.5, there were a lot of features, particularly one I liked, which was the reach or range command, which extended the range at which you could place blocks, and I would always put that out to some ridiculous number like 100. So when you're filling in flooring and roofs, you can just sit at one end and build all the way to yourself. But with the normal reach, you have to move backwards as you're placing blocks to go all the way across, and it was just a hassle. I preferred it the way with the range command on single player commands. But one of the things I noticed was on the newer versions they didn't have that command, and a lot of times I couldn't even get it to work at all. For example, so in some of my videos you may see the little single player commands dialogue at like single player commands line mod alert update thingy in the command line or the text line, but it's not working for some reason, so I don't know what I did wrong. I am using MC Patcher for most of my mods, so I don't know if it's something with them or with the actual mod, but I've never had a problem with MC Patcher before, so I'm not sure. I really should get used to using the pick block command with the middle mouse button where you can just select any block you're looking at, but I can never remember or get used to that. So I go into the inventory a lot, the inventory a lot, the menu. And one thing is when I first started Minecraft, I could never figure out how to make furniture. And so I googled it one day, and I always came across these chairs, which was a stair with signs on the side as armrests, and that's something I had never thought of, and I didn't even know you could do. And it looks very, very nice for a chair. So that's pretty much the way I do them. And this isn't exactly an ideal placing for the torch, because you'd probably catch your hair on fire, but shush. Just, you're not supposed to notice. But it's the best place that I could decide to put it. I guess I could put it outside the doorway right there, but I decided not to. And then we go around and add some decorations. And again, I say this, I know I've said this before, they really need to make a GUI for paintings, because it is such a pain to cycle through those until you find the one you want, and you get into the habit of clicking, placing, deleting, placing, deleting, placing, deleting, and then it finally lands on the one you want, and you accidentally delete it, and you're like, oh my gosh! And you spend another 5 minutes trying to find it, and it'd be so much easier if somebody made a mod or something, a GUI, because they really, really, really need to. It's such a pain. Now we are pretty much done. We are coming to a conclusion. But some little last things here and there. More decorations for the most part. As we spruce up the interior of our building and add some decorations around the outside to make it look very nice. There I was going to say which banner that I'd put in here, but I remembered, so I turned around and left it. Now this is a very small house, building, thing, whatever you want to call it, that I built here. You can make them pretty much any size that you want with the style of building that this is in. And that's very nice, because you don't have to use too much imagination. I know that's something that a lot of people have problems with, and when they're building Minecraft houses, is those are usually the people that end up with a just wood block house, square cube of wood kind of thing. Is you never really thought about it, and you don't really think about imagination and architecture and things like that. And that's one thing I love about this style, is that you can just, once you learn it, you don't have to think anymore. You can just recreate it over and over and over again. And it doesn't quite make for the best house necessarily. It's not the most interesting, but it does look very nice, and it's a lot better than just a wooden block. So it does look very nice, and it's very helpful to learn how to build like this, just because you can do things like this when you build it into a town or a settlement or whatever you want to call it. Like this, it does look very nice, just because the sheer number of houses kind of makes up for the not quite as interesting, not quite as detailed house, I guess, because it's kind of like in video games where it may not look the most graphically appealing, but there's so much there that it really doesn't matter because so much work went into it anyways. I guess like an Elder Scrolls game, kind of, where it's this massive landscape and there's so much that they must have had to do for modeling 3D objects and structures, but there's so much to it that it doesn't really matter that it's bad quality, or not bad necessarily, but not the best. It still looks good and it's still fun to do, and I don't need to be saying this because you guys know what I mean. I hope I'm good at explaining myself like that. And our Wi-Fi is broken right now, so that's why I'm commenting on this. Otherwise, I'd probably do it in the morning. But I'm doing it right now because I guess it's AT&T or something. Isn't quite... I guess they're having problems or something of the sort, because it's not working very well. And we've reset the router and the modem several times, so I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Anyways, I'm going to add in some flowers here, just for effect. And one thing is that big yellow bush right in the middle there. I wanted to get that with red, but I couldn't seem to get it, so I figured that there may not be a texture for that with the red plant. I thought it may have just been yellow, so I tried to rearrange it and get another big yellow plant on the side, but I couldn't recreate it. It was really weird. I guess it's just a rarity, not very common texture. I don't know. So I just kind of left it. The flowers. I figured it was like, was it bone meal? Does bone meal make that happen? No, it's just a different texture. So this does nothing. And again, I'm fiddling with that, but I couldn't get it to work, so I just leave it. And now, I guess I'm just spinning around our house so you can see all of it. And now, and now, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't quite do any of the bone meal beautification kind of thing this time around, and it's something that I went back and added in after the video that I should have added, but I forgot, and sad face. And I think I forgot the crenellations actually too, with the big Nordic like mouth on top, I guess, like dragon's head kind of thing. So that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. That's how you build a Nordic house in Minecraft, in my style specifically. I'm hoping to move on to bigger and greater things in the future and hopefully do lots more tutorials. But for now, that's all I've got. And join us next time for some more Let's Build and some more time lapses. I know I'm having fun with that, and I hope you guys are too. And I should have done some kind of video on this big house here, but for now I'm just gonna add torches because they look cool. And we are going to pull back to a nice view of our finished project and settlement so far. And there's an awesome sunset that we leave out on. Thanks for watching. This has been Hawkman312 Comms. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Specifically comment. Subscribing is fun too, but I promise to put more of this stuff in the future. So again, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. This has been Hawkman312 from Hawkman312 Comms, signing out.